Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Union Home Minister Amit Shah affirms statehood will be restored in Jammu and Kashmir after elections. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addresses Defence Ministers Conclave in Bengaluru, says collective security is essential for development and prosperity. Campaigning for assembly elections in Tripura to end this evening. Nation remembers CRPF jawans who lost their lives in Pulwama terror attack in 2019. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says their courage motivates people to build strong and developed India. And in badminton, India to take on Kazakhstan in Asia Mixed Team Championships at Dubai in a short while from now. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said BJP will get full majority in the Tripura Assembly elections. In an interview to a news agency, Mr. Shah said the BJP is seeking a mandate to make the state prosperous in the next 5 years, building on the development initiatives of the party-led government. Mr. Shah said the BJP's Cholo Paltai slogan in the last election was not a slogan to come to power in the state, but to change the situation in Tripura. He said Congress and the CPIM join hands shows that they are not in a position to defeat BJP on their own. Tripura will go to the polls on Thursday to elect a new assembly.
समग्र उत्तर पूर्व के अंदर नरेंद्र मोदी जी के प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद हमने उत्तर पूर्व को बदलने के लिए बहुत कुछ किया है। सबसे पहले उत्तर पूर्व के अंदर आज शांति है। कई सारे उग्रवादी संगठनों के साथ हमने समझौता किया है। बोडोलैंड का समझौता हुआ, कार्बी जनजातियों के साथ समझौता हो गया हमारा। यहाँ पर त्रिपुरा में ब्रू और रियांग अमानवीय तरीके से 40,000 परिवार 25 साल से ज्यादा समय से रहते थे, उनको सेटल कर बसाया गया। यहाँ पर भी NLFT के साथ समझौता किया गया। लगभग 8,000 से ज्यादा आर्म्ड कैडरों ने आत्मसमर्पण कर मेन स्ट्रीम में आना पसंद किया है।
The Home Minister said under PM Modi's leadership, several steps have been taken for the welfare of the people in the northeast. Mr. Shah said the party will come back to power with full majority in Karnataka also. Talking about restoration of statehood in Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Shah said he had clearly stated the statehood will be restored in J&K after elections. He added that the process of preparation of voters list is nearing completion in the UT and the Election Commission has to take a call on elections. Over Article 370, Mr. Shah said, since 1950 it was on an agenda to remove Article 370 from Jammu and Kashmir.
वामपंथी उग्रवाद लगभग समाप्ति के आरे पर है। जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर आतंकवाद पर पूर्णतया हमारी एजेंसियों का कंट्रोल है, वर्चस्व है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अंदर पूरा एक प्रकार से जो उग्रवादी ग्रुप थे, इसके अंदर बहुत सारा समाधान कर हमने धीरे कर 8,000 से ज्यादा उग्रवादी ग्रुपों के लोगों को मेन स्ट्रीम में लाने में सफलता हुई। नॉर्थ ईस्ट पहली बार विकास का अनुभव कर रहा है।
On G20, Mr. Shah said India is holding the G20 presidency during PM Modi's tenure and he should get the credit for a successful G20 summit. Over the Popular Front of India PFI, Mr. Shah said the government has banned it successfully because PFI is spreading radicalism in the country. He said PFI is trying to prepare raw materials for terrorism and the government has so many documents which prove that the activities being carried out by the PFI were not good for the unity of the country. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said India does not believe in dealing with security issues in the old paternalistic or the neo-colonial paradigms and India considers all nations as equal partners. Speaking at the Defence Ministers Conclave in Bengaluru today, the Defence Minister said richer and militarily or technologically advanced nations do not have the right to dictate the solutions to nations in need of support. Mr. Singh highlighted that India offers an enhanced defence partnership to the friendly foreign nations. He said India offers a partnership that is accommodative of the national priorities and capacities. He said it is India's endeavour to transcend the hierarchical relationship of buyer and seller to a co-development and co-production model. Mr. Singh said collective security has become sine qua non for development and prosperity.
Collective security has become sine qua non for our development and prosperity. Terrorism, illegal arms trade, drugs smuggling, human trafficking, etc. pose significant security threats to the whole world. We consider all nations as equal partners.
The Defence Minister stressed on the need for real-time engagements between nations considering the increasing pace of changes being witnessed. He emphasized that when the peace and security of any region is threatened, the entire world feels its impact in multiple ways.
When peace and security of any region is threatened, the entire world feels its impact in multiple ways. As I mentioned earlier, we sincerely believe that real-time engagements between nations are necessary considering the increasing pace of the changes all of us are witnessing. Further, in an interconnected and networked world, the rapid transmission of shocks and disturbances around the world makes it impossible to insulate one's own country from the issues of other countries.
Defence Secretary Giridhar Armane had a bilateral meeting with UK Minister of State for Defence Procurement Alex Chalk in Bengaluru today. The meeting was held on the sidelines of the ongoing Aero India 2023. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited HAL Chairman and Managing Director C.B. Anand Krishnan has said that the company is the biggest beneficiary of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative of the Government of India. Speaking on the sidelines of the Aero India in Bengaluru, the HAL CMD informed that they have orders worth 84,000 crore rupees and another 50,000 crore rupees orders are in the pipeline. He informed that HAL is focusing on R&D and building capacities and is ready to receive more orders. Union Minister for Civil Aviation and Steel Jyotiraditya Scindia today addressed the G20 delegates on the second day of the ongoing first meeting of the G20 Agriculture Working Group at Indore in Madhya Pradesh. Addressing the delegates, the Union Minister emphasized on 3S strategy for agriculture, that of smart, sustainable and serving all in the agriculture ecosystem. He said that India is moving ahead with the values of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. He said with International Year of Millets, health and nutritional values are being offered to the world by India. Mr. Scindia said there is a need to invest in expansion of agriculture. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. In Tripura, campaigning for assembly elections will conclude this evening. Polling for 60 assembly seats will be held on Thursday, 16th of February. The Election Commission is taking all necessary steps for conducting a peaceful polling. The Indo-Bangladesh border and interstate borders have been sealed ahead of polls. Additional companies of security forces have been deployed across the state to maintain law and order situation. A total of 259 candidates, including 22 female candidates, are in the fray. The ruling BJP has fielded candidates in highest 55 seats, while rest have been given to IPFT. CPIM is contesting in 43 seats, while its new ally Congress will vie in 13 seats. BJP National President JP Nadda reached Kohima to release the party's manifesto for the assembly elections in Nagaland. He will also address a joint public meeting of NDPP and the BJP. More from a correspondent.
National BJP President JP Nadda will address the joint campaign meeting of NDPP and BJP, which is being held at Capital Cultural Hall, Kohima. Nagaland Chief Minister and NDPP leader Nipirio and leaders from both the parties are attending the program. Subsequently, after the meeting, Mr. Nadda will proceed to State BJP office, where he will release the party manifesto and address the party workers. For AIR News, Afanyo from Kohima.
In Meghalaya, leaders of various political parties are holding public meetings, door-to-door campaigns and padayatra to woo the voters for assembly elections. Star campaigners of the BJP, Congress, National People's Party NPP, Trinamool Congress, United Democratic Party UDP, HSP DP and other parties are addressing election meetings. More from a correspondent.
Union Minister Sarvanand Sonowal addressed a public meeting in Birnihat in Jirang Assembly segment. The senior BJP leader promised to people that if voted to power, his party will ensure corruption and discrimination-free Meghalaya. NPP President and Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma addressed election meetings in Upper Kamyapada and Tetengol in South Tura Assembly segment. The NPP leader said despite prone to insurgency, he has established peace and tranquility in the province. He said it is a big achievement. On the other hand, former Chief Minister and Trinamool Congress leader Mukul Sangma took swipe at NPP in Dalu and Rangsakona. He alleged that NPP has miserably failed in governance. Congress senior leader Pawan Khera released a 10-point charge sheet in Shillong, making charges of corruption on NPP and UDP. The regional party HSPDP chief KP Pangyang has reiterated demand for next Chief Minister of State from Khasi community. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Tura.
For 60-member Meghalaya Assembly, polling would be held on the 27th of February. Nation is paying homage to the Central Reserve Police Force personnel who lost their lives in a terrorist attack in 2019 in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir. 40 CRPF personnel lost their lives in the attack carried out by Pakistan-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is led by Masood Azhar. A suicide bomber drove a car laden with explosives into the security force convoy at Tripura in Pulwama. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to the soldiers who lost their lives in the attack. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the nation will never forget the supreme sacrifice of our valorous heroes whom we lost on this day in Pulwama. He said their courage motivates the people to build a strong and developed India. Home Minister Amit Shah in his tribute said the nation can never forget the sacrifice. He added that the valor and indomitable courage will always remain an inspiration in the fight against terrorism. The Sri Lankan cabinet has approved a proposal to provide immediate relief to the downtrodden in the island nation. The proposal provides for 10 kg of essential food grains to low-income families in March and April. The move to provide 20 lakh such families will cost the exchequer 1900 Sri Lankan rupees. In addition, the cabinet also decided to pay out gratuity arrears for retired government servants. With this, the retired employees are expected to get relief as the dues had not been paid since April last year. Sri Lanka had defaulted on its external debt in April 2022 as it faced its worst ever economic crisis since its independence in 1948. The New Zealand government has declared a national state of emergency after Cyclone Gabrielle lashed the North Island. Signing the declaration, Minister for Emergency Management Karen McAnulty said, "This is an unprecedented weather event that is having major impacts across much of North Island." Noted painter Lalita Lajmi passed away yesterday at the age of 90. She was sister of late actor-filmmaker Guru Dutt. The National Gallery of Modern Art, NGMA, shared the news of her demise. In his post, NGMA wrote, Lalita Lajmi was born to a poet father and a polylinguist writer mother in Kolkata in 1932. Coming from a family involved in the arts, Lajmi was very fond of classical dance and painting. She found a calling in painting. An unparalleled watercolorist, through her works she narrates a layered history of the modern Indian woman in the decades that followed independence. Often her works reflect the hidden tensions that exist between men and women captured in different roles they play. Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra will be on a two-day visit to Bangladesh from tomorrow till the 16th of February. During the visit, Mr. Quatra and his Bangladesh counterpart will review the entire range of bilateral relationship, including political and security, water, trade and investment, power and energy. The Badminton Asia Mixed Team Championships 2023 will start in Dubai today. Spearheaded by PV Sindhu and Aegis Prannoy, India will fancy the chances against Kazakhstan in the opening Group B tie. The men's singles will be led by Aegis Prannoy and Lakshya Sen. In the men's doubles, Chirag Shetty will partner with Dhruv Kapila in the absence of Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy, who has pulled out of the event due to hip injury. Minister of State for Culture Arjun Ram Meghwal will inaugurate the 22nd Bharat Rang Mahotsav 2023 at Kamani Auditorium in New Delhi today. Around 100 theatre companies are likely to attend this annual festival. Along with the plays, there will be other allied activities like launching of books, directors meet, a national and international seminar and masterclass by the stalwarts. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union Home Minister Amit Shah affirms statehood will be restored in Jammu and Kashmir after elections. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addresses Defence Ministers Conclave in Bengaluru, says collective security is essential for development and prosperity. Campaigning for assembly elections in Tripura to end this evening. Nation remembers CRPF jawans who lost their lives in Pulwama terror attack in 2019. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says their courage motivates people to build strong and developed India. And in badminton, India to take on Kazakhstan in Asia Mixed Team Championships at Dubai in a short while from now. And with that, we end the Midday News.